don't think we should do this.
We're going live in 1 minute.
It's careless and unpredictable.
Okay, trust me on this.
We can make an excuse.
No, we have to do this. Please.
Just do your job, don't make it personal.
Hey, welcome in. Go ahead. Sit right over there. Yep.
Let's have a good show.
All right. You ready?
We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome back. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. If you're new, then welcome to Late Night with Lee Stevens. That's me. I'm Lee Stevens. On our show, we talk about a variety of topics, everything from sports, news, politics, movies, local scandals. But if you're watching on TV, you may have noticed I have upgraded my technology a little bit. Went down to Radio Shack and picked up a couple of Hitachi cameras. Trying to gain an audience on TV, boost the numbers a little bit. But we'll see how that goes. Tonight we have a very special guest in the studio with us, Dr. Frank Fowler.
Hello, how are you?
How are you doing, Doctor?
I'm doing well. Please, call me Frank.
Well, Frank, what have you been up to lately? Tell me, have you seen any good movies?
Well,
Friday the 13th. Halloween, maybe? Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
actually, I'm more of a bookworm myself.
Oh, of course. Well, if you don't know, Dr. Frank Fowler here is a psychologist. But not just any psychologist. He is a psychologist that specializes in psychopaths. Now, I thought that would be appropriate, considering the fact that we have a serial killer loose in town. How many people has he killed, Frank?
7 so far, I believe.
Wow, 7. I never thought such a thing would happen in our town. There are rumors that Halloween will be canceled. Of course, it's all very sad. We're in prayer for the families of these victims. But I thought it'd be interesting to have Dr. Fowler here explain to us the behaviors and mindsets of these psychopaths. I thought it might help all of us.
Truthfully, it varies. Psychopaths are born with antisocial personality disorder, ASPD, as we call it. Typically, they do not understand social cues. It makes them stand out from the rest of the crowd.
What about that one serial killer they caught a couple of years ago? It was all over the news. Ted Bundy. I remember everybody saying that he was a charming young man.
That's right, and though he was diagnosed with ASPD, he did not exhibit the common characteristics of those diagnosed with it. He would have been extremely difficult to identify, as he was well-liked and normal.
Fascinating. So what you're telling me is that I, or in fact you, could be a murderous psychopath, killing left and right, and no one would have any suspicions about it.
Well, no one except for professionals like myself.
Well, it's a good thing we live in a small town then, where nothing bad ever happens. Up until now, of course. It's truly unfortunate. Don't you think so, Frank?
Of course, it's a travesty. Who would ever deserve such a fate?
Indeed. I mean, the first victim was 16 years old. Michelle Foster, found dead in a ditch. Then Kelly Schuster, 17, in a lake. Kimberly Campbell, 15, strangled. Heather Moore, 18, beaten to death. Veronica Adams, 17, slit throat. Chelsea Crawford, 18, stabbed. Just a few days ago, there was another. Unidentified. Mutilated. The killer is a severe threat to this town, and with each kill, the method only becomes more sinister. And I think we can all agree that whoever is committing these unforgivable acts is a truly evil individual. But good news, looks like the police are catching up to him. Is Halloween saved? New breakthrough could lead to the end of 5-month investigation.
Is that?
Tomorrow's news. My friend Thomas Wright passed that off to me. Looks like our town is finally on the map.
While examining evidence, police found fingerprints not belonging to last week's unidentified victim on her kid's sneakers.
Looks like the killer finally slipped up.
However, due to fingerprint identification technology still not being widely available, police are sending the fingerprints across the state to the nearest forensic laboratory. Although this will prolong the process by several days, officials state the killer's identity will be known by the end of the week.
You hear that, everyone? Halloween is saved.
That's impressive. That's fantastic news.
Truly.
Yeah.
You know, technology is amazing. The advancements that have been made. Sony Walkman, revolutionary technology, right? But it leads me to ask the question, why is all this necessary? To all our listeners and viewers tuning in tonight, I want to say this. I know that it's been a fearful and harrowing few months, but our suffering is coming to an end. This psychopath that has been tormenting our town will be caught. Justice will be served. That's my word. So enlighten us, Frank. What would drive someone to commit such heinous acts as these?
It could be a number of things. Some have desire for control, power, and killing is their only source. Sometimes it's based off emotion, usually hatred, betrayal, anger, or merely just the thrill of it.
The thrill of it.
Whatever it is, it stems from impulsivity and a lack of behavioral control. It brings them immense gratification.
Immense gratification? Why can't they go down to their favorite restaurant and order their favorite meal like everybody else?
Like I've said, their minds work differently. Whereas you may go down to Bennigan's and get a burger, people with ASPD feel nothing. They're emotionless. Their thoughts are meticulous and analytical.
So what you're saying is they're barely human. They live among us, hiding behind their flesh and blood in plain sight. That sounds cowardly to me, Frank.
Cowardly?
Reed, wrap this
Let
up.
me ask you something. Do you think these people deserve a place in our society? I mean, what purpose do they serve if all they're doing is murdering innocent people who have done nothing wrong?
I think you're forgetting the fact that they don't choose to be this way. They have no control over it.
Nobody chooses to have trauma, but they get therapy.
There is no amount of therapy, self-reflection, intervention, understanding of who they are, why they are, that will ever help them. They're stuck this way.
Then what does a psychopath actually feel when they kill? You know, what makes it worth it to end the life of another human being?
God damn it,
Their
Reed.
minds are so filled with narcissism that killing feels inconsequential to them. The adrenaline fuels them when they're committing the act. But once it wears off, they feel nothing. It's as if they've done nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong? How exactly does killing another person not feel wrong?
Because it's just how their minds work. They're not the same as you. It's the only thing that makes them actually feel something.
So my daughter had to die because some psycho couldn't fucking feel anything?
Sorry to hear that.
God, she was the sweetest kid. She was so nervous about high school. All she wanted to do was make friends. Got her those kid shoes so she could fit in.
You'd do anything for her, wouldn't you?
Of course. I loved her dearly.
If you could say anything to her killer, what would you say?
I'd say burn in hell. I'd say you deserve nothing. I'd say you will never have the kind of love that I had for her. And I'd kill him if I had the chance.
Let's cool down and take a music break.
What was her name?
I'm sorry,
Your daughter. What was her name?
Katie. She
On her cheerleading practice.
She was supposed to be home at 7:30, and I should have.
She never thought it'd be your daughter.
No. We lived close to the school, and she'd walked home countless times.
You still let her walk home with a serial killer on the loose. How do you think she felt in the same room as a serial killer, knowing that her life was coming to an end? It must have been so unnerving to be in the same room as a man who killed 7 people with no remorse, just a hunger for more. How does it feel, Lee? To feel guilt and dread and fear? How do those emotions actually